Hello students, today our topic is congruency of triangle for class 7. In this chapter we learn about the congruency, congruent line segment, congruent angles, congruent triangles and the various criteria which are used to prove the triangles congruent. So let us start our topic. Now first of all the idea of congruency. The two geometrical figures which have same shape and same size are said to be congruent to one another. Here this is the symbol of congruency. This symbol includes the upper part which means same shape which resembles similarity and the lower part that is symbol of equality which means same size and represent equality. Now congruent line segments and congruent angles. Congruent part means the parts which have same size and same shape. In case of congruent line segments, two line segments are congruent to one another if they have same length. Just like here, the line segment AB have same length as line segment CD. So these two line segments are congruent to one another. In case of angles, if two angles have same measurement, then the angles are said to be congruent to one another. Now here is some example of congruent line segments. Here we see four line segments in the figure. Line segment EF and line segment SD both have same length, so we can say these are congruent to one another. We can write these like this: EF line segment congruent to line segment HD, and similarly the another pair also. Now equal angles versus congruent angles. Sometimes we get confused in equal angles and congruent angles, but these both are same things. If we write like this using symbol of equality, then we read it angle A is equal to angle B, and if we write like this, angle A congruent to angle B. Now if two angles are congruent, then their angle measures are equal, and if the angle measures are equal, then the two line segments are, two angles are congruent to one another. Now proving triangles congruent. Now this is our main topic, that proving triangles congruent. To prove two triangles congruent, we need to prove all the parts of one triangle equal to the another parts of the another triangle. So we know that in every triangle it has 6 parts. Let us take a triangle ABC, in which one side is AB, one side is BC and third side is AC. Every triangle has 3 sides and 3 angles: angle A, angle B and angle C. So to prove two triangles congruent to each other, we have to prove these parts of one triangle equal to the corresponding parts of the another triangle. Now, how much do you need to know about two triangles to prove they are congruent? Corresponding parts. You learn that if all 6 pairs of corresponding parts are congruent, then the triangles are congruent. Here we take two triangles, triangle ABC and triangle DEF. In these triangles, AB corresponds to DE, BC corresponds to EF, AC corresponds to DF, angle A corresponds to angle B, angle B corresponds to E and angle C corresponds to F. Here all 6 parts of one triangle are equal to the corresponding 6 parts of the another triangle. So we can say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. But do we need all 6 parts every time? So our answer is no. We use only 3 parts, or we can say combination of part to prove the triangles congruent, and these combinations are known as criteria of congruency. These criteria are like this: SSS, SAS, ASA, AAS and RHS. Now, the first criteria is side, side, side. In this criteria, we take two triangles, triangle ABC and triangle EDF. If we know that all three sides of one triangle are equal to three sides of the another triangle, then the triangles are said to be congruent. For example, in these triangles, side AB is equal to side DE, side BC is equal to side EF, side AC is equal to side DF. All the pairs of three sides are equal to one another, so these triangles are said to be congruent to one another using the criteria side, side, side. Now the another criteria is side, angle, side. SAS. Here we take again the two side triangles, triangle ABC and triangle DEF. In these two triangles, if side AB is DE, his side AB is equal to side DE, side AC is equal to side DF, and angle A is equal to angle D, then the triangles are said to be congruent. But here one thing we must remember, that the angle which is equal must be included angle. Now, what do you mean by included angle? Included angle means the angle between two sides. The two sides which are equal to the other two sides of the triangle. The angle lies between those two sides is known as included angle. So here we take an example. In this triangle IGH, if we take IG and GH side, then the included angle is G. If we take this side and this side, then the included angle is I. If we take side GH and side IH, then the included angle is H. In other words, included angle we can name like this. If we take two sides YE and ES, the letter which is common in both sides is included angle. Similarly, ES and YS, if we take these two sides, ES and YS, then S is included angle. If we take YS and YE, here Y is common, so included angle is Y. So, by using criteria SAS, we must remember that the angle must be included angle. Now, similarly, the another criteria is angle, side, angle. Here, if we know two angles of two triangles are equal to one another, and the side with one side is equal to one another, but similarly, as similar to last postulate, here the side is also included side. So, in example, triangle ABC and triangle DEF, if we take angle A is equal to angle D and angle B is equal to angle E, then if AB is equal to DE, then the two triangles are congruent to one another using the criteria ASA or angle, side, angle. Now same the concept as like included angle, we have concept included side, the side between two angles. For example, if we take the triangle IGH and take angles I and G, then the included side is IG. If we take angles I and H, then the included side is IH. If we take angles G and S, then the included side is GH. In other words, if we take angle Y and angle E, if we take angle Y and angle E, then the included side is YE. If we take angle E and angle S, then the included side is ES. If we take angle S and angle Y, then the included side is SY. Now another concept is, third concept is angle side. If we know any two angles of two triangles are equal to one another and one side is equal to one another, then the triangles are said to be congruent to one another. Here the side is not included. Now this phenomena exists because if we all know that sum of all angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degree by angle sum property. Similarly, angle D plus angle E plus angle F is also 180 degree. From equation number first and equation number second, we know that if right hand sides are equal, then left hand sides are also equal. So angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to angle D plus angle E plus angle F. Now we know that angle A is equal to angle D, so we eliminate A and D from both sides. Angle B is equal to angle E, so we eliminate angle B and angle E from both sides. And angle C becomes equal to angle F. After getting this side becomes included side. After getting this side becomes included side, and we can use ASA. So we take this phenomena that if in any two triangles, two angles are equal, then the third angle is automatically equal to one another. So rather than solving like this, we can use this angle side as a congruency postulate. Now warning, here is a warning that no SSA postulate. As like angle side, many times students use SSA postulate as a postulate, but this is wrong. SSA postulate does not exist. And again, just like SSS side, they here sometimes students also use angle also. But angle postulate is not any postulate for the congruency of the triangles. To understand this, we can take an example of equilateral triangle. We all know that in every equilateral triangle, all angles are of measure 60 degree. So we take a equilateral triangle ABC in which all angles are of 60 degree, and side of equilateral triangle is 2 centimeter, for example. And another equilateral triangle PQR, here angles are also 60 degree and side is say 7 centimeter. Now if we see both two triangles, triangle ABC and triangle PQR, both have same shape but their size is different. Instead of that, both have all three angles equal to one another, but still the triangles are not congruent to one another. So always remember, angle postulate does not apply for the congruency of triangles. Now congruency among right angle triangles. We use congruency criteria, that is RHS, right angle hypotenuse side, in case of specially right angle triangle. If we take two right angle triangles, triangle ABC, right angle at B, and triangle PQR, right angle at Q. Here in these two triangles, we come to know that AB corresponds to PQ, or we can say AB is equal to PQ. Angle B is equal to angle Q is equal to 90 degree, and AC is equal to PR. here this is right angle, this is side, and this is hypotenuse. So if any two right angle triangles, hypotenuse of the right angle triangles and one side is equal to another side, then the two right angle triangles are said to be congruent to one another. Here one thing I want to add, that hypotenuse is always the side opposite to the angle 90 degree. Now let us recall our congruency postulates which we learned. First of all, we learned side congruency, in which we learned that all three sides of one triangle are equal to the three sides of another triangle. Second, we learned angle side angle. In this correspondence, we learned that two angles of two triangles are equal and included side must be equal to another side triangle. Next is SAS, side angle side. In this postulate, we learned that two sides of two triangles are equal to one another, and the angle which is included between the equal sides is also equal. Next is AAS. In this correspondence, we learned that if any two angles of two triangles are equal to one another and one pair of equal sides, then the triangles are said to be congruent to one another. And the last one is RHS correspondence, which is specially for right angle triangles, that in any right angle triangle, any two right angle triangle, if one angle is right angle and hypotenuse of the both triangles are same and one pair of equal sides also there, then the two right angle triangles are congruent to one another. Here we also learned that SSA and AAA, these correspondence does not exist for congruency of two triangles. Now name that postulate when possible. Let us take this first example. In this example, here this one side is equal to another, the second side is equal to second, and one included angle is equal, so postulate is SAS. Similarly, in this figure, two angles are equal given and included side is equal given, so postulate is angle side angle. Here two sides are equal given, but the angle which is given equal is not included angle, so SSA is not any postulate and it is wrong. In third one, all three sides of one triangle are equal to another three sides of the another triangle, so SSS postulate is used. Now here are some another examples. In first example, if all three angles of one triangle are equal to all three angles of another triangle, then AAA postulate, it does not exist for congruency of triangles. But if two angles are equal and included side is equal, then ASA postulate exists. If two sides are equal and included angle is equal, then SAS postulate exists. If two sides are equal and angle not included is equal, then SSA does not exist. Now, in this similarly, here are some examples also. Here is reflexive property. In this property, this side is common, this triangle is reflexive of another. In this vertically angles, this angle is vertically opposite to another angle. So one side is equal, second side is equal, included angle is equal. So criteria is used SAS. Here vertically opposite angle used. These are vertically opposite angles in these two triangles and equal. These are this side is common, this is reflexive property, but the angle which is given is not included, so the triangles are not congruent. So this is for your homework purpose. We can write postulates here. first figure, one side is equal given, second side is equal given, and here reflexive property is, so one side is common. So we can say in these two triangles, all three sides of one triangle are equal to three sides of another triangle. So we use S. In this case, here one side is given, one angle is given. If this side is equal to here, then we use SAS, and if instead of this side is given, then we cannot prove SSA. In this figure, this angle is equal to this angle, this side, the second side, but the angle which is given equal is not included angle, so SSA is not used. Here in this figure, all three angles of two triangles are equal, but as we learned that AAA is not any congruency criteria. Again, here are some examples. In the first example, one angle is given, one side, pair of equal sides is given. Here, vertically opposite angles always equal. We know that vertically when two line segments intersect each other, then there are vertically opposite angles, pair of vertical opposite angles, and which are equal to one another. So we use ASA. In this case, one side is equal given and one side is common and one angle is equal. But SAS is not any criteria. Similarly, we do next one also. So let's practice. Indicate the additional information needed to enable us to apply the specific congruency postulate. In these diagrams, for ASA, if we want to use ASA, angle side angle, it means angle side angle. One side must be equal, one angle must be equal, another angle must be equal. So this side must be included side, so we can use angle B and angle D. If we want to use SAS, means this angle must be included, so we use AC equal to FD. And if we use AAS, then we can take angle A equal to angle F. Now this is for homework purpose. Indicate the additional information needed. In these two triangles, if we want to use ASA, means side must be included. So this side is equal given. One angle is here, one angle is here. So we must know angle N is equal to angle B. If we want to use SAS, means we want to this angle included angle. So we use MK equal to TU. And if we want to use AAS, then we take angle M is equal to angle U. Thank you very much. This is all about our congruency of triangles. I hope you all understand it and practice your homework assignments from NCERT books. Thank you very much.